So yeah, here's something pretty weird. The sky's dark at night.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
No,
well,
come on, man.
So it seems really obvious and normal that the sky's dark at night, but it's not actually nearly as obvious as you think it is. There is actually some really interesting things we can learn about the universe just from the fact that the sky is dark.
Okay, but I thought it was just because there were like gaps between the stars and stuff.
Yeah, so if you think about it, if the universe is infinite and there are stars in all directions, then no matter what direction you look in, you're going to end up looking at a star.
Oh.
So why doesn't it just look like
white everywhere?
Yeah, exactly. Why doesn't it just look like the surface of the sun in every direction?
This question seems like it must have been around for a while.
Yeah, actually, there was this guy, Olbers, who came up with it a long time ago, but I don't even think he was the first. I think this question goes back to the 1600s or something like that, and it took a long time before we got a good answer.
So did Olbers come up with the answer?
No, Olbers did not come up with the answer. Olbers just convinced people that there was an important question here. But, it seems like there's some obvious answers, right? Like, what if something gets in the way? What if there's something dark between us and a bunch of the stars? But it turns out that can't be the answer, because if there's something dark that's in the way between us and the stars, that means it's absorbing the light. And if something absorbs light, it heats up and then it starts to glow.
Oh, okay.
So it can't be that there's something between us and the stars, because eventually it would start to glow just as brightly as the stars do if there were really stars in all directions and light was coming down from all of them. So that can't be the answer. So then, you might think, well, what if the stars aren't actually in all directions? But they are. There are stars in all directions. That seems very clear.
Okay, so how do we sort this out then? What's the answer?
So the paradox here, this thing assumes a few things. It assumes that there are stars in all directions, which is true, but it also assumes that there's been enough time for light to get to us from all of those stars. And it turns out that's not true, because the universe has a beginning, the Big Bang. And the Big Bang was about 13.8 billion years ago. And that means that light has only had 13.8 billion years to travel. And light doesn't go infinitely fast. It goes at the speed of light.
So if any stars are like further away than 13.8 billion light years, I'm guessing we just can't see them.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit more complicated than that, because the universe is expanding. So the light can be traveling for 13.8 billion years, but the stars that emitted the light, those stars have traveled farther away from us as the light has traveled toward us. So they're more than 13.8 billion light years away now. But yeah, there is a limit to how far we can see. The other thing is the expansion of the universe actually also plays a role in why the night sky is dark. It's not as big a deal, but when the universe expands, it stretches out the light, makes it less energetic. And so it actually dims the light that we see from really, really distant stuff. But the big factor here is that the universe has a beginning, and so we can't see past a certain distance, which is about 45 billion light years away. We can't see anything farther away than that.
So who actually sorted that out?
Well, the first person to propose that the night sky was dark because the universe had a beginning was actually Edgar Allan Poe.
As in, quoth the raven, nevermore, and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah. Like, the Raven guy.
What?
Yes. He proposed this as in an essay in, the early or mid 1800s. Nobody took it very seriously until the 1900s, though, when we first discovered that there was a Big Bang, and the universe really did have a beginning. So the sky being dark at night is actually something that tells us a lot about the universe we live in.
So, quick follow-up question. Does that mean that one day, like in the really, 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 really distant future, the night sky will actually be white?
No, it doesn't. This answer sort of has a really cool half and a really depressing half. The cool half is, it turns out that the universe is expanding. And not just expanding, but it looks like that expansion is speeding up. And so what that means is that actually the number of things that we can see in the universe, the things that are visible to us, is actually decreasing. Or if it's not decreasing now, it'll start to decrease very soon. So that's part of the reason. The other part of the reason it won't happen is because stars die. Now we're in the more depressing half. So stars die. And when stars die, new stars are born, but that won't continue forever. There will come a day when stars stop being born and all the matter in the universe gets vacuumed up by black holes. Then there won't be any more stars. And so no, the night sky not only is dark, but it will always be dark.